Undoubtedly the biggest match in the American Dragon Bryan Danielson's career. And I say that because his career is on the line. This match is career versus world title. Bryan Danielson and the AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland collide in front of nearly 50,000 fans here at All In London. The family of Danielson in attendance. Buddy, Birdie, and Bree all in attendance. So this, for Danielson, is about putting everything that he has worked for his entire life into this one match. His last quest for the AEW World Championship, to risk it all for a dream. If there's any man who's lived a dream, it's Bryan Danielson, who has been showcased on the biggest shows all over the world. Swerve, nice counter to Danielson. Hip toss, takes down Danielson. And following it up quickly, Danielson gets the knee to counter. Oh my God. Just driving the shoulder of Swerve Strickland hard into the mat. Bryan Danielson is so technically sound inside the ring, he literally has an award named after him. The Bryan Danielson Award. It's literally about being the best technical wrestler. Danielson is one of the best, greatest of all time. And you know, I was going to talk about today and say he's one of the best today, but that goes without saying. That's pretty obvious that Bryan Danielson is one of the best today. Even at this point in his career, he has done so much. However, Swerve Strickland looking to take flight. Nice landing for Swerve to land on his feet, realizing Danielson got out of harm's way. Danielson looking to go high risk and just dumps himself, landing onto Swerve Strickland, and he's hyping up the crowd. The yes chants fill up Wembley. So it's taking it early, risking it all in this match so early on. You gotta wonder for Danielson, you know he's entering this match at less than 100%. He's been through all kinds of injuries throughout his career, most notably concussion issues, neck issues. You can see where that medical tape is on his back, the K tape. It keeps the muscles in place so you don't tear anything. Or Danielson, a kick to the chest. Oh, counter by Swerve. Up and over. Danielson lands on his feet. Nice counter tilt-a-whirl, nearing the upper of the back of Bryan. A nice drop on that suplex for Swerve Strickland. You're seeing a nice little back and forth in the early parts of this match. You got to wonder, who does this benefit in a longer run of this match with these high risks so early on? You saw Danielson springboard and just leap himself, diving into Swerve Strickland. I mean, he landed perfectly and took out Swerve. But here we are back in the ring, and now Swerve is already back in control. Oh, and a kick to the knee of Danielson. That could be very effective in the strategy. Meanwhile, in the corner of Swerve is Prince Nana, who is very pleased with Swerve's work. Very happy about that kick to the knee of Danielson. Danielson, who has had numerous attempts in going after the AEW World Championship. whether it was MJF or Hangman Adam Page, Bryan Danielson has gone after the AEW World Championship and unfortunately has come up short on every attempt. However, this time the pressure is on. There is no pressure like putting your long-time career in an industry that you love on the line. Sometimes that's just what you have to do. That's what motivates people the most. And when there's so much to lose, but also everything to gain. High risk, high reward doesn't just mean taking a dive off the top. It means being willing to risk it all to be champion. Nice arm bar here on the ropes. Obviously, it's going to be a rope break as senior official Paul Turner. Oh, Danielson trying to fight Swerve. Look where Swerve has Danielson up on his shoulders. What could Swerve possibly be thinking? Danielson holding onto that turnbuckle bar, not letting Swerve maintain hold of Danielson. On the ring bell. Oh! Oh! Death Valley driver on the ring bell. If that isn't it, I don't know what is. Paul Turner doesn't even know what happened. Paul Turner was laid out for that split second. Still recovering. That's as nasty as it gets. I'm surprised the match isn't over after that. On the bad neck of the American Dragon. And then Prince Nana, who brought the bell into play, also quickly removing the evidence. And Bryan is busted open. First blood for the American Dragon. You lose feeling when you land on your neck like that, you lose feeling. It goes down your arms, goes down your back. It's hard for you to walk. Everything starts with, with the neck. Danielson could need neck surgery. He could need neck surgery tomorrow. You got to wonder, how much more can Danielson take? And you heard Swerve say, why is Danielson going to do this while his family is here? Swerve just loves watching, just loves the fact that Danielson's family is watching. And he's literally grittying in the ring. Doozy Daisy. Danielson has got some color. No. He's going to pull it right out of the playbook of the American Dragon. Nope. He wanted everyone to believe that was what he was thinking. And he wants to do it instead in front of the family of Danielson. Right where Birdie, right where Buddy, right where Bree have an up front close shot of Swerve just stomping the skull of Bryan right into the floor. He said, you want your daddy to go home? I'll give that to you. The disrespect by Swerve Strickland. Absolutely disgraceful. And Prince Nana just dancing in front of them. Swerve is not a man of honor. That's one thing for sure and for certain. To disrespect a man in front of his own family. You gotta wonder in the long game, is it gonna come back to bite him? He's grinding on the face of Danielson, though. The blood that continues to go down the face. And with the blood going down the face of Bryan Danielson, it gets in the eyes. It mixes with the sweat. It creates that crimson mask on top of the fact that it's going to burn your eyes. And then it blinds you. Swerve's got Danielson in a very precarious situation. This is going to be a rough landing for not just Danielson from whatever Swerve is thinking, but it's going to be a crash landing for both of them. It's just a matter of who's going to get the worst of it. This is not going to look pretty, and it certainly wasn't. And a rough landing. And Danielson's children can't even watch this thing. Glossy-eyed is Bryan Danielson. Swerve heading up to the top. Perhaps a Swerve stomp could close this one out. Danielson evading harm. And a nice counter by the American Dragon. There is still life. And trapped is Strickland in the center of the ring. There is life left in the American Dragon. There is hope. Danielson could win it right here. Can he put Swerve Strickland away? However, Swerve breaking the grip of Danielson. Swerve realizing where he is. Danielson steps over and behind. Nice standing switch by Swerve. Danielson landing on his feet. Oh, kickback by Swerve. Swerve is up. And a clothesline knocks Swerve right down to the mat. However, Danielson goes down too. And referee Paul Turner was checking on the American Dragon and now goes to check on Swerve Strickland. And the crowd here in London trying to amp up both of these pro wrestlers who already have given their all. Danielson, look at this. Backslide. Swerve able to get at it too, though. And a clothesline. And Swerve goes down. Danielson really doing everything he can to build up some momentum. Trying to hype himself up. Get into that feeling. Get into that groove. However, you can see that Prince Nana was talking up Swerve Strickland, trying to get him ready to go as well. But there's only so much you can do. Coming in like a missile are these kicks by Danielson to Swerve in the corner. But Swerve comes up, leaps through, flatliner lays out Danielson, gets the shoulder up, is the American Dragon. To be willing to die so that honor and justice may live is the American Dragon, who fights for the AEW World Championship, not just for him, but for his family that sits in the front row and has a look at what could either be one of the biggest moments of his career, winning the AEW World Championship in front of nearly 50,000, or it could very well be the end of the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and his historic 25-plus year career. Oh, and a nice suplex with the arms trapped. It's not easy to take out your opponent like that. Usually when Danielson has the arms trapped behind his opponent like that, usually going for his patented cattle mutilation submission. However, that was not what was in the books. That Tiger suplex was what came instead. And now Swerve is on the receiving end of these devastating kicks by the American Dragon. The fans chanting every time Danielson connects. And one more knocks Swerve silly. However, somehow Swerve is still standing. And the facial expressions have changed on the family of Bryan Danielson. And now the kicks connect to the spine of Swerve, who's barely being held up just by leaning face first on the turnbuckle. Danielson perching Swerve up at the top. Now it's Danielson's turn to take Swerve for a ride at the top. What could Danielson be thinking? No. An avalanche tiger suplex could be on the way for Swerve Strickland. And he gets it. And an avalanche tiger suplex lays out Swerve Strickland. Danielson crawling. Can he get there? He does it. Hooks the far leg. And Swerve stays with it. Danielson's eyes are wide open. Not just because he thought it was over, but you also got to think it has to do with doing everything he can to prevent the blood from getting into the eyes, interfering with the vision of the American Dragon. Now it's Danielson's turn to return the favor for the stomps that Swerve did to Danielson in front of Danielson's family. Now Danielson gets to stomp the soul, the life out of Swerve in the center of the ring on Danielson's quest to be the best, to be the AEW World Champion. And I mentioned cattle mutilation, and it has arrived. Swerve may be left with no choice but to tap out. In deep trouble is Swerve Strickland. That bridge is deep. Swerve using his core strength to push himself forward back onto his knees. And Swerve back up. No, he could be thinking Vertebreaker where he's at. Vertebreaker! One of the most dangerous moves in this sport, the Vertebreaker. Danielson landing on his neck. And now the doctor checking in on the American Dragon. Medical are coming to check on the American Dragon. This match could end. Danielson suffered that injury during his match with Will Ospreay. And now here we are. It's Bryan Danielson once again having to deal with the medical team. The Vertebreaker. The way that Danielson landed, a rough landing, the way his head bounced off the mat. And the medical team gets chased out of the ring. However, Danielson, the only thing that might be left is a swerve stomp. And it could be all over. This has got to be it. This is over for Danielson. I don't know why you do this to your family. The swerves, that's it. That's the swerve stomp right there. That's all over. But Danielson finds a will. Danielson finds a way. When there's a will, there's a way. Something magical lives inside the American Dragon as he breathes and he fights on. Talk about willpower, the resilience, the grit. That is what makes Danielson who he is. On a house call by Swerve Strickland, Danielson and his willingness to stay with it is only infuriating Swerve, who is begging Danielson to get back up. There will be no mercy on this second house call. And Swerve taking his time as Danielson is hardly just crawling. What is going on in the mind of Swerve Strickland? Danielson continues to work his way back up, trying to reach out for the ropes to pull himself up. However, Danielson doesn't even know what's behind him. And one more house call. And he says, whose house? And it looks like it's still going to be Swerve's house. That final house call ends the career. Danielson stays in it. This place has gone just insane. Swerve doesn't even know what to think. Danielson is just putting everybody on one hell of an emotional ride as he barely was able to get his shoulder up on that third house call. And Swerve using Danielson's kicks. This time, instead of a yes chant, he's getting no chance. Only infuriating Danielson. Where in the world is Bryan Danielson finding this? Danielson's back up to his feet. And he is only fired up, and it has slaps Swerve Strickland. And once more, Swerve. And now it's Danielson's turn to give Swerve the fight, to bring the fight to the AEW World Champion. Swerve's got Danielson caught. Danielson counters. This is why Danielson is one of the greatest technical wrestlers. And here come the elbows. And he's got the triangle in on Swerve Strickland. Swerve could be pushed to sleep. Swerve using his strength to lift Danielson up. Danielson able to counter. Oh, the capture of the leg and the arm. And Danielson, nice suplex, takes down Swerve Strickland. Danielson could be feeling it. Danielson could be finding one more memorable moment. And the running knee. Swerve just brushed it off. House call. How in the world did Swerve just eat that running knee like it was dinner? Danielson has won world championships around the world with that move. And now in the grip of the world champion. Big pressure. That's good. Nope. It is not good night. No, no, no. Bryan Danielson lives to fight with still just this much more left in the tank. The disbelief. Swerve doesn't know what to think. The worried look. I believe this is the first time anybody, and I mean anybody, has kicked out of big pressure. My eyes are absolutely glued onto this world title match. Much like the near 50,000 fans in attendance. And now the fans are booing as Swerve mocks Danielson with the yes chant. Putting his fingers to the sky, mocking Bryan Danielson. This is not the way you want your career to end. What is this? I mentioned Hangman earlier about Danielson's previous encounter with Hangman. However, the thing is, Hangman still has his own thing with Swerve Strickland. And a man who is ballistic. Security trying to get rid of Hangman Adam Page. A man possessed is Hangman Adam Page. He wants to get and break through the security. However, Swerve distracted, doesn't realize it. And this time, Swerve gets caught with the running knee, and it's all of it. Oh! That felt like a million years on that 2 count for a near 3. That was so close. Was that Bryan Danielson's last big hit? Or is there still just enough more to put away Swerve Strickland? And you also saw that at the same time Danielson was going for that cover, that it seemed like Prince Nana would have gone into the ring to force the break just to keep Swerve as the AEW World Champion, but end this match in an unfortunate way, which would have ended it via disqualification. And the hands of these two men are locked. Danielson hits harder and Swerve goes down from the kicks of Danielson. However, Swerve back up to his feet. Danielson trying to push Swerve down into the mat. Thinking big pressure once more. Kick to the midsection. Slap to the back. Pump kick sends Danielson into the corner. And up. Oh! And Boo Psycho running knee out like a light. Intercepted from the Rolling Thunder. 2, a Boo Psycho knee. Danielson with life. The end is not near. Danielson will not face the final curtain. And the impact of that and the lapel locks out of the ring. There is nowhere to go. No mercy will be shown by Bryan Danielson. Get your victory. Get the AEW World Championship. Strickland trying to fight off the grip. However, Swerve, Danielson just pulled back on the arm. And now once more, Danielson, look at the submission hold he's got on Swerve. And there's no choice. We got a new AEW World Champion.